This is Rayissa. I'm with the Homes for Toronto team of Sutton Group, Old Mill. We're here today to talk about TREB's Market Year in Review and Outlook for 2019. TREB is the Toronto Real Estate Board, and this is the third year that they've put a report together recapping what happened in 2018 and also going through their predictions for 2019. So why don't we start with the 2018 recap. As most people are aware, the market was very different in 2018 than 2016 and 2017. Sales and listings, the numbers slowed down. There were not the increases year over year that we had seen in the crazy market from 2016 or even when the new mortgage rules were put into place. Our average home price was down in the first half of 2018, but the average home price started to climb in the second half of 2018. We saw this personally reflected where we had an increase in the number of listings and buyers amongst our own clients, as well as what was happening in our office and in particular in Etobicoke, Toronto, towards the end of 2018. And this has continued into January and February. We're seeing the start of the spring market already. Now, 2019, what is the Toronto Real Estate Board projecting? That's part of this report. Toronto Real Estate Board is projecting 83,000 home sales in 2019. So that number is nearly flat year over year from the year before. Now, 2016 sales were 113,040. That was a record-breaking year. That was part of the craziness where you had 10 and 12 and 50 multiple offers on properties, and the prices were going way out of whack. That started to adjust itself in 2017 as the new mortgage stress test was put into place, and in 2017 there were only 92,263 sales. 2018 dropped to about 77,000 sales, and they're projecting 2019 to be 83,000 sales. The other thing that TREB had talked about in the report is that the overall new listings, so there's listings that come on the market that don't sell, so the overall number of listings is 155,000, and that has been year over year flat, and that's pretty much been the same number since the recession. So you're looking at since 2008. So there has been some competition for the average home starting at the end of last year, and we saw as a result the average home price started to creep back up. It crept up to 820,000. So this is an amalgamation of all the home prices, not just the detached home price. And that number is actually almost at the height of the 2017 average number. So that tells us our market is rebounding to where the numbers used to be. The new mortgage stress test, the goal of that was supposed to have helped first-time home buyers, and it actually did not. We saw a decrease in first-time home buyers, with 2016 having first-time home buyers at over 50% of the buyers in the market were first-time home buyers, and in 2018 less than half of the home buyers were first-time home buyers. That means most of the home buyers that were in the market in 2018 were people that already own property, whether it was a condo, a townhouse, a detached or not, and that were then selling their property and purchasing. And normally what happens is first-time home buyers come in and they start taking the smaller homes and condos to first enter the market, and that was not happening. So the mortgage stress test changes that were put into place in 2017 actually had the opposite effect. And the other impact that TREB had highlighted that has happened is that the average mortgage payment with the mortgage stress test is an increase of $700 per month is what the test has been at. So what happened with the mortgage stress test was if you were approved at a rate of, let's say, 3%, your bank or financial institution would tell you that's fine, but we're going to give you an approval based on 2% higher. So even though your mortgage is going to be at 3%, you're actually going to qualify at 5%. And that difference on average for someone was an extra $700 a month they would have to come up with, or an extra $8,400 a year. And what happened is people couldn't do that, even though they didn't have to pay that, but they just had to prove to the bank and the financial institution they could do that. And that's why so many buyers just came out of the market and stopped purchasing properties, and why we had so many a decrease in the number of the first-time home buyers. Down payments also in 2016 and 2017 were only 30% of the property. So what that meant was you put a down payment on average of 30% and you had a mortgage for 70%. That number for 2018 with the mortgage stress test actually crept up to about 32%. And the reason being is with the mortgage stress test, where in 2016 or 17 you would have been approved for $1 million buyers, you were then only approved for about $750,000. So what happened was people were trying to come up desperately with additional down payment money so they could still get the type of home that they want. So what's happened is that people are actually stepping out of the GTA market. We know this ourselves. I was showing in Barrie last weekend. We're going into Brantford, Hamilton, Innisville, Milton, Fergus, which is near Guelph. We're stepping out into all of these markets with our buyers who qualify at good amounts. They're in the high 400s, 500s, 600s, 700s, but they're actually getting a lot of house for those markets that are further out of the GTA, and being able to actually have a reasonable mortgage so that they can still enjoy life and travel and do all the things that they'd like to do. TREB for 2019 is predicting that mortgage rates are going to be relatively flat, and there's going to be an increase in the number of people in the market. So some of you have already been experiencing this if you're currently in the market. Some of my clients that have gotten approved for mortgages in the last 2 to 3 weeks, so this is going at the end of February into now early March, the rates you're getting approved at are a little bit lower. So the mortgages are becoming more competitive among the financial institutions and the banks, which is a good thing because that means you'll have a lower payment per month. TREB is also predicting is that out of those 83,000 sales in 2019, the condo market is going to continue to increase in the double digits that it has been. And why? That's because that middle market is where the majority of homeowners are, and there's more condos for sale between the 5 and the 800, 900 range than there are houses in Toronto. And what we're seeing definitely with all of my clients who are looking for condos and condo townhouses, is that the number of offers have increased on the condos and the prices are going up. There are some buildings downtown where the prices of the condos are going up 5,000 to 8,000 week over week as more buyers are entering the market, because it's more attractive because there's more people that qualify in that. Detached homes will continue to increase this year, as well as semi-detached, but those increases will not be at the great double-digit growth that the condo market will be. So what else are we seeing? We are seeing a steady increase from January into February with the housing sales. I was just out with one of my clients. We actually extended our search. He's looking into even further east in Scarborough, going out to almost Guildwood. And one of the homes that was the most attractive on the street, a bungalow, 2-bedroom bungalow that was renovated 14 years ago, but done well, had 14 offers on it. 14 offers, the home was listed at $799 and it sold for $865. So you can imagine if that's happening in areas such as Scarborough or Guildwood, which is further out from the downtown core, which is the most attractive area for people to be, you can imagine what's happening to the neighborhoods that are even closer to the downtown core. You're having even more buyers and more offers. And until the listings change and we actually have more listings, that will continue to be a part of the marketplace. We personally are hoping for an increased number of listings come into the spring market into March. I know we have some listings that are getting ready to go up in March and in April, and if we do, we're hopeful that other realtors do as well, so that the market can continue to do well. What is our advice after all of this? Well, our advice is don't wait for 2020. If you listen to Benjamin Tal, who's my favorite chief economist, he's the deputy chief economist at CIBC, he says the market will continue to take off 2020, 2021, the prices will continue to increase even if there's a recession in the US in 2020. Our market is not the same as the US, and we will continue to have double digits growth. We will get back to where the market was, the prices in 2016. If you're a buyer and you're looking to get in or you want investment property, our advice and our recommendation based on experience for Sandy and myself would be to tell you to get into the market now. The report, if you are interested in having it, I'm going to have it posted as a link on this Facebook post. You can download it yourself and read through. I would encourage everybody to. There's fabulous information in there that TREB has put together. Jason Mercer is the key research person at TREB. He does a phenomenal job. And if you have any questions, let us know. Every neighborhood is slightly different, and we keep track of various neighborhoods in and around the GTA. We'd be happy to help you. So from the Homes for Toronto team, we wish you well in 2019 and happy house hunting.